the Savior say, thy strength indeed is small. Child of weakness, watch and pray, find in me thine all in all. Jesus paid it all. It's high. All to him I owe. Sin has left a crimson stain. He washed me white as snow. And that's coming out of Isaiah chapter 1, if I'm not mistaken. Though your sins be as crimson, red as crimson, he said, I'll wash it white as snow. Come, let us reason together. It's a great story. This is out of Elvina M. Hall's lyrics, John T. Grape lyrics or melody. Jesus paid it all. Good stuff. I want to talk to y'all about mental illness in the church. I'm already in trouble. I have to look away so I won't laugh. April Echoes, blessed to you, the Lula B and Tresca. Y'all are here. All right, let's talk about this because when I get through with today's show, hopefully you'll find yourself calling 588-2300. Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones. He's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones Show.
Come on in. The water's fine. Hello everybody, Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the evening edition. Baby. How y'all is? Come on in. Water's fine. Water's always fine over here. It is raining outside, thundering and lightning in Chicago. And so if this thing go out, it's because it ain't me. It's mother to the nature. All right, let's get this ball a crack-a-lackin'. Good to see you, Pitts and Carter and Johnson and Clemens and Sample and Carter and Echoes and Lee and Red and Daniels and Lloyd and a whole bunch of y'all are here. Let's talk about this thing about your church. Your whole church need counseling. That's the show. Your entire church need counseling. I get it. Listen. I get it. If y'all go to my show, I did a impromptu show last year on rebuking the Church of God in Christ. All right. I think my research department will put it in the comment section. Well, I rebuked the Church of God in Christ. And in that video, I said that the church need to go on a prayer revival in a sense. And I said, it's not that no one needs to head that revival. No pastor, no bishop, no superintendent, no, not even the mother's board, no. Everybody from the top down need to get on the altar. Good to see you, Valerie Johnson, Vanessa Bowen, Jimmy Lee, Jimmy got soul. Everybody needs to get on their knees. Everybody, the whole church at large. All right, good to see you, Carter. So in this show today, which is like a part 2-ish, is that your whole church need counseling. Not just this individual who's always acting up. Not this guy here on the organ. No. Not these two married couples. No. the whole church at large got problems. Best to you, Bernice. Whole church. Why? Okay, I'm gonna read y'all. I'm gonna give you a list of about 8 reasons why counseling is absolutely necessary. All right. Number 2, I'm gonna tell you who is qualified to counsel. Okay. And number 3, I'm gonna tell y'all what you should stop doing. You see, what you've done was you have given too much power to your leader. You better hear me. Too much. And that's too much stress on he or her. To whom much is given, much is required. And you have put so much stress on them till they are feeling that they are the only ones who can solve your problems. Your former president looked up in the sky and he says, only I. He says, I'm the chosen one. And when they asked him, is there anything that you need to apologize to God about? He says, no, I don't sin. So there's no need for me to apologize to the Lord. That's some of y'all's pastors. Good to see you, Ron Pringle. There's the show. An elder rebukes the Church of God in Christ. That one. You got to go to that show after this one. Hey, Ruth Chester, how you doing? I checked in earlier when you first set the reminder. It mysteriously disappeared. Oh, no, it was still there for me. All right. Now, what I mean by this, you're giving too much power to your pastors and your leaders. Here's why. Your leaders, y'all are going to your leaders for things that are above their pay grade, above their ability, whether it's natural, spiritual, or and moral, everything else. It's above their grade. And so y'all are going to your pastors for financial advice, and he's barely making it. Barely. Y'all are going to your pastors for physical advice, and he's 500 pounds and he have to sit down to preach. Y'all are going to your pastors for psychological problems. His wife don't even like him. She think he crazy. Y'all are putting too much stress on these leaders to the point where they then begin to believe that they are Superman and Wonder Woman. You understand? Pitts, I shouldn't have laughed that loud. Y'all understand? So when y'all do that stuff, Jason Shepard. Jason is here. It's all going where it's done. All right. It's too much. You pass by all of these bona fide people, and there are many people in your church among the ecclesia who's qualified, who got degrees, who went to school for 4, 6, 8 years. They have practices, but you won't go to them. You go right to your pastor. And then he leads you over here, and many of you have gotten sick. You lost your home, you lost your car. Some of you lost your lives because you leaned on a man or a woman for that type of advice that he or she should have never. And this is why the government job is to protect people like you by saying you cannot give certain advice to people. You cannot impersonate lawyers, doctors, policemen, nurses. You can't even sell insurance without a license. You understand? You can't marry without a license. People without a license. You just can't do these things. You can't even work on some people's homes without some kind of license in certain areas. You can't do it. You got to have a permit to work on people's homes, especially the outer core or on the roof. You got to have a license to drive. You got to be bona fide. You got to be proven. You got to be properly vetted. But y'all threw all of that out when it comes to your spiritual leader. Can your spiritual leader help you? Absolutely. They can take you to the scriptures and show you where God is giving some type of word of knowledge, a word of wisdom. But this is on a case by case basis. And a good leader would tell you to get a second opinion, depending on what it is. Because when you go to your doctor who's got $1 million in student loans, who went to school for 50 years, even he will tell you, this is above my pay grade. Here, let me see. Does it hurt here? Yeah. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much is the pain? It's 8. 8? What are you doing, Dr. Johnson? I'm giving you a referral. A referral? What are you referring me to? Somebody else. Why? Because that pain was a 10. If that pain was a 3, I got you. But the pain is a 10. I'm giving you a referral. To who? A specialist. Why? Because he specializes in 8. I'm good at 3. I'm just a general guy. This guy does this every day, all night. He go to sleep to it. He probably kiss it. He takes showers with it. That's what he does. When I was having problems in my marriage, my pastor, in whom I upheld as a great teacher and counselor, he said to me, "I can't take you no further, son." I said, "Yeah, what? Yeah, I can't take you no further." He said, "So here's the number to a counselor." I said, "Wait, you my pastor?" "Yeah, I know. This is why I'm bona fide to do this, because I'm your pastor. Here's a brother in whom our church used." Why? Because your case is above my pay grade. Here, he gave me the number to a counselor downtown Chicago. His fee was $150 an hour. Did I go? I sure did. And the fact that my pastor sent me to someone bona fide with a license all on the wall, his office was like my office right here. The fact that my pastor sent me there made me respect my pastor even harder. Come on, Shepherd. That doctor was governed by his or her special. I can't see. His specialty, not their ego. Ooh, Jason Shepherd, that hit me in the back. Ouch! Psychological, medical, finance, advice is not the job of your pastor unless he is certified in those areas. He should give you a referral. Y'all understand what I'm saying? All pastors should not counsel in all things. That's it. I did that show. I didn't know I did these shows. I just didn't know. My research department is smarter than me, because I would have never referred y'all to stuff that I did already. I didn't know I did it. Some pastor and wife are just living in the same house while both are dating other people. Savannah Jones, I know that for a fact because I dated one. Which is another thing your pastor ain't going to tell you about the transparency of his past. I dated a pastor's wife. They were still married. I mean, that's how crazy I was. My past was crazy. And I'm living today to tell y'all that. I'm alive today to tell y'all that, because I could have been dead by the hands of that man. So I can tell these stories. I do these shows and the people come around because they know I ain't got nothing to gain by lying to y'all. I don't gain nothing. I'm here to help y'all. Good to see you, Trevell. Yeah. Savannah had pulled back them covers. Yeah, pull back them covers. Yeah, D. Coop. both are wrong. We did it. And these are the stories that y'all not telling them for nobody. Y'all need to free your kids by tell them the truth, for Pete's sake. Good to see you, Bree. If you tell your kids the truth, they'll respect you. And they'll walk into those rooms and say, oh, I don't want to do that. Why? Because my daddy said he did this, and it didn't turn out too good for him. I'm not going down that road. No, I've seen my daddy go through hell by doing this. Y'all need to talk to your kids. Stop lying to them. Stop saying, don't do as I do as I say. Victoria said, you was a piece of work. I was too. Man, I'm trying to tell you, I did everything that walked. I didn't care what your title was. If you're that willing and that dumb to come over to my place, and you got these titles and what have you, I was that dumb to take you. I never chased these women. Never had to chase them. I just sat still and they chased me. Ooh, what's a good looking brother like you doing in a church like this? Well, what you want it to be. Oh, I ain't ashamed to tell it today. Now, you would never catch me doing that today, though. Oh, no, not me. And that's nasty anyway. Y'all are nasty. I was nasty back then, but I ain't nasty today. Yeah, because your children hear and see everything. They just don't say. Demetri Pitts, my own son was reminded, well, no, he wasn't reminding me, he was telling me stuff that I didn't know he saw. Monique, no, I wasn't a pastor at the time, but I was a minister. And the difference between the minister and the pastor is about $1.50. Yeah, and tell the whole truth, not just the portion. Come on. So back to Pitts. My kids were telling me stuff I didn't know they was listening to, watching, reading, and all this stuff. I was ashamed. I'm like, you saw that? Yeah, but you was only 6 years old. Yes, but I remember, Pops. I remember. Tell the truth. Shame that devil. I've yet to see a sexy pastor to make me want. Knowing the truth is as what will not only free you, but will free those whom that testify applies. Yes, the Lula B. The pastor should shepherd the sheep after God's heart and refer them to the special. Come on, Delia. Y'all preaching. You better preach. It's $1.75. They got y'all crazy. Yeah, not only what they saw, but what we caused them to feel emotionally. You see what I'm saying? So my shows are surrounded by psychological topics because these are the things that your churches are not talking about. And every time I go live, somebody hit me with an email or an inbox or something like that, or with a text, depending if they got my number, and they'll say, why don't my church talk about the things that the Sirwalterj Jones talk about? Why? I feel like I have to relearn life all over again. And I tell them all the time, well, the people who, our community here, are people who are helping us. It ain't just me. When I read these comments, these people have been experiencing the same stuff that I experienced. Many people say, you're different, but I think just like you. They'll tell me, they'll say, I believe the Lord is using you because I've been believing and thinking the same thing that you say for years, but I thought I was crazy. I thought I was in this world by myself until I turned on your show. And I tell them, there's a lot of brothers like me out there and sisters, a whole bunch of them. They just don't have the platform that I have just yet, but the Lord is opening up the doors. This is why I'm trying to get y'all to get your platforms going. That's why I'm mentoring some of you. Say, get that up and going, because I can't do this by myself. This generation right now needs to understand the truth. And not be victims of what we were raised up to believe. Those old folks from the Azusa Street revivals, that generation right there, they were trying to protect us. So I can't beat them up. They were only doing what they thought was right. They were doing what they thought was the will of God. Even though it was full of a lot of eisegetical teachings. I get it. They just didn't know. They were ignorant to some of the things that the scripture says, especially those who base their whole lives into a King James version, which a language in which y'all failed literature. You failed Shakespearean literature in high school. What make you think that you're going to live by the King James Bible? And you failed lit class. Because you couldn't understand the these and the thuses and the thous and the hithers and the thithers and the pissers and all that stuff. Okay, you didn't understand it. But then you go to church and you act like you understood all of the things in the scriptures, and then you led us astray and built whole denominations and theological points based off of something that you don't even understand in today's new king's language. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Good to see you, Kemp. So we are blessed to have other translations because it helps us understand. King James was the new translation of that time of 1611 because they couldn't understand the other ones prior to that, in a sense. They had to go with whatever the language was for the day. Well, the language today is not thee, thus, thou, hither, thither. The language of today is the way I'm talking right now. So we had to update the translation. We didn't update the Bible and theology. We just updated the language. Do you hear what I'm saying? But y'all threw those translations out because it didn't sound like it was holy because you didn't hear Shakespearean language. And this is why people manipulate you in church by using, they'll come say, come pray. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to lay hands on you. Okay. Hither my way. Now I hearest thou say to thee. When they come to me with that message, listen, brother, no, walk away from it. No, listen, don't touch me. Don't touch me not, for I have yet ascended. Get away from me. You think that you're sounding holy because you're using 1611 language. That ain't doing nothing. That doesn't make you more powerful. When you talk like that, it manipulates those weak milk drinkers in the audience. They think that you're all holy because you're saying thee and thou. I'm gonna need you to sit your butt down. I had a deacon at St. Luke say we don't read out them funny Bibles. I know, man, it's ridiculous. It's the difference between translation and transliteration. Big difference. Y'all, I did the transliteration show. Roger, I don't even know what to call that one. I don't even know what to call that one. Yeah. It's sad. My 84-year-old mom can show enough praying to keep. She's a real deal. You know what I'm saying? Y'all move away from that with me. Talk to me in English, 2021 style English, and I will understand thee. Thou understandest what you're saying. I grew up in a predominantly white Pentecostal church, and one of the things that was great is that we were taught and studied. That's good, D. Coop. That's good stuff. All right. So your whole church need counseling, and y'all need to go back. You need to be detoxed. You need to be debriefed. You need to self-destruct in 5 minutes. Don't down. Is that the melody? It might be the wrong melody. I don't know. Some things you should never cut corners on. Y'all are cutting corners because you say, I can't afford this guy. You can't not afford this guy. Y'all always use that term when it comes to tithing. Shut that down. You say you can't afford it, but you go out there and buy everything that you need. Everything that you need. Tam say close. Close. All right. But Mission Impossible. Thank you. But you can't save up to get you a good counselor. I'm sad. It's sad. I stay late for church. What up? Dana to the king. The church also ascribed to the same principle your parents taught at home. What goes on in the house stays. Yep. Come on, Evangelist Robinson. You preaching this gospel real hard tonight. I'm liking you. My mom sure loves you. Oh, I love it too. Unlearn from man's systems, doctrines, traditions, okay? You cannot cut corners. When I had a 1976 Chevy Chevette, I called it leprosy. It had spots everywhere. I was so proud of that thing. I paid $300 for that. I dreamed about that car. I saw it on the corner. It had a ticket. It had a sign in there for $300, and I was on my way to a 1 week job, the Taste of Chicago in Chicago. This was 85, somewhere around there. I'm a young man, fresh out of high school. I had a brand new license, driver's license. And I saw that car with all the spots and all the rust. I'm like, I'm going to look good in that car. I went to work at the Taste of Chicago Monday through Saturday, and they paid me $300. And I took that whole check, went down to the currency exchange. Of course, I lost money because, they charge you for cashing the check. And I asked my grandmother for a couple dollars. And I went down there, that car was still there, and I gave that man $300, my whole check. And I drove off the lot with leprosy. That's what I call her. I couldn't even afford to pay for the tags. So I had to borrow some more money just to get the thing transferred over to my name and to buy the stickers for the car. And I drove that thing around town. Oh, I love me some Chevy Chevette. It was the smoothest car in the world. But here's the thing about that. I'm young. Back then, gas was about 80 cents or something like that. Sometimes you can get gas for 70, 75 cents, something like that. But we would put $2 and $3 in the car. And it'll take us around town, and then the next day we got to gas up. You were at the gas station every day because we were putting $2, the cheapest gas, in the car. The tires were old, some of them were bald, but it didn't matter. It got us around town. And one time I ran over a nail and got a flat, and I took it to the nearest neighborhood mechanic, the tire shop, and for about $7, $9, $10, he plugged that hole up, and then I went on about my business. And then that tire again. So he said, you can get your another tire if you want to. It's only gonna cost you $20. So he pulled one of them old tires down, used tires, and I said, well, $20, man, that's a deal. And he put that on there, and I'll drive around for a couple months, and then that's just the way it was. All right. I got older and started realizing the value of cars. I was able to work so that I could afford a new car. When I bought my 2014 Ford Fusion, I got older and more mature. And when I signed the paper, they said, you got to get insurance. I said, yeah, I know that. So I went online, and I saw all these rinky-dink insurance companies. Lincoln Insurance and We Save Insurance and Let Us Do It For You Insurance and Midwest Black Power Insurance. All these rinky-dinks. When I had the Chevy Chevette, my insurance was $50 a month. I didn't care what I had as long as I was legal. And it was just enough insurance to cover the other guy. It didn't really cover me. But when I bought my 2014, I said that all these rinky-dink insurance companies can go away from here. If it ain't State Farm, Allstate, or Progressive, I don't want none of it. And so what? They gonna charge me $300 and $400 a month. I didn't care. Why? Because I was not gonna cut corners on something so valuable as that brand new car. I was blessed to where my age and my driving record was good enough to whereas State Farm cut me a deal. But I wanted State Farm because I knew the State Farm was going to take care of me. You understand? And then they said, the bank says, who gave me the loan for the car, they says, when you get that insurance, we forbid you to get $1,000 deductible. I said, but that's my money. Why? As long as I got insurance, it doesn't matter, right? No. That's our car. Until we hand over that paper that says it's yours, it belongs to the bank, and we need to protect our asset, so you cannot get $1,000 deductible. Make sure your deductible is $500 or less. But that's going to cost me more in monthly premiums. We don't care. That is ours until it's yours. You see, you can't cut corners when it comes to something so valuable. Come on, Pitts. They own the title. And then when I bought the car, it had all brand new tires on it. And I drove it for a while. Up through the treads, and I was even Ubering in it, so of course it was wearing it down. And then one time, one of the tires, it got flat, and I said, "Oh man, I got to either fix this or get me another tire." And I drove by all of those shade tree mechanic shops, them old dirty tire shops, all through my neighborhood. I passed through all of them, passed by all of them. Brother, why don't you just get this tire? No, you can't cut corners on this car. You understand? And I drove up to a clean tire shop. Ain't no such thing as one, but I found one. And I walked in there and they said, you what do you need? I says, I think I need a new tire. He says, well, let's see. We've got Goodwill. We got Firestone. I said, okay, how much is the Goodwill? The Goodwill starts at $150. Or how much is the Firestone? That's $170 and up. And my mind went back to the Chevy Chevette, in which I paid $20 for the tire. But my intelligence and my maturity level says you can't cut corners on your on your Ford Fusion. You ain't cutting corners. I said, give me the best you got. That's going to be $200 for one tire. Give it to me. What's the warranty on that? Oh man, you got a few years warranty. Give it to me. Because that $20 tire got no kind of warranty whatsoever, and it's going to go flat again in 60 days or less. You see, you can't cut corners. That's what y'all are doing when it comes to your mind, your body, and your soul, and your spirit at your church. Y'all all need counseling. I cut it. But I don't drive my 2016. I drive my Ford truck. Love my truck. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Growth, maturity, progression. Make it plain. Stop cutting corners. You are belittling yourself. I live in the hood, y'all, in Roseland in Chicago. There are restaurants here, restaurants over here, restaurant here, and I do not eat in my own neighborhood. I don't. Steph said, you could get. No, I want a Goodyear or Firestone. I've always dreamed of having a Firestone on my car. Got one now. It might be one, but I got one. It's an all season. I don't eat in my own neighborhood, y'all. The only time I eat in my own neighborhood is because there's a Subway up there that's 24 hours. And sometimes I do these shows up until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Ain't nothing else open, so I go to the Subway. It's the most healthiest that we got in the neighborhood. But I do not eat in my neighborhood. Why? Because I don't believe in cutting corners. Carolyn said, you uppity. I don't believe in cutting corners. Why? Because I went to one of the shops in my neighborhood. And I stood I went to the window. The bulletproof glass is about that thick, and you got to shout in that little That little hole they poke in the bulletproof. Can I get a number 7? Huh? Can I get a number 7? You gotta shout through there. And they got pictures of the food on the thing, and it's at least 200 items on the menu. 200 pictures, 200 items. And there's 2 guys back there. And I placed an order, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then he handed it to me. It was some kind of chicken something. And when I opened up the bag, I heard the Spirit say, if you eat that, you're going to get sick. And I took it, and there was a garbage over there in the corner. I threw it in the garbage. It did not even look like real food. If you eat that, you're going to be sick tonight. Why? You're cutting corners. Because this place is open at 1 o'clock in the morning with the bright lights and the 200 items on the thing, that you should have been preparing for this at home. You should have bought some groceries and had baby girl wake her up. Make her cook it for you. She loves you. Make her cook. But if you eat this, not only did you waste your money, but your belly gonna be a rumbling. So I don't eat in my neighborhood, y'all. Y'all say you should support your neighborhood. My neighborhood is killing me and killing our babies with that non-real food. It ain't real. And I don't know what they're doing back there. I just don't. So I would rather pay more for quality food outside the neighborhood. I'm sorry, y'all, but do I have to support my neighborhood for killing me? Not happening. And unfortunately, it is a predominantly black neighborhood, but there are no black shops in the neighborhood. So am I supporting my own? I'm not even supporting my own. I'm supporting the Indian shop. I'm supporting the Mexican, the Hispanic shop. I'm supporting the Asian shop. Indian, Asian, same thing. I'm supporting the Jewish shop. Just because a black face is working behind the counter, he don't own that. So I'm not even supporting my own people in my neighborhood. The black businesses had to shut down because they could not afford to stay open. Why? Because I don't believe in cutting corners. Your whole church need counseling, and y'all been cutting corners. It's sad. I'm trying to tell y'all, y'all don't want to agree with me. Why y'all don't want to agree? We should support black excellence, not ratchet readiness. It's sad. That thing almost made me puke when I looked at it. And that's the same way I look at McDonald's foods and Burger King. I can't eat the stuff. I bit into a McDonald's burger and my whole body went into a convulsion. Just started shaking. I was like, what's wrong? I just bit into a McDonald's burger. I took one bite and my whole body is acting a fool. I said, no, that's a sign. I can't do it. I'll eat their fry. When I'm really hungry, I'll pick up a fry. Outside of that fry, which ain't healthy, I can't do it. Steph, you said yuck. Can't do it. Because last time I bought some McDonald's for my kids, they fell asleep and some of the McDonald's food went in the back seats up under the seats somehow. And I finally got the car detailed months later. And guess what the detailer found? Tucked up under the seats, in between the seat cushions. He found my kids' McDonald's burgers. And that burger looked just as new. He said, did y'all just left McDonald's? No, we don't go to McDonald's anymore. But I just found this burger. I found this burger back here, and it looked like still. Man, we ain't been to McDonald's in about 3 months. Yeah, but this burger right here looked like it just came off the fryer. Wait, is that the burger that my son had 3 months ago? Yeah, this right here. You mean to tell me we've been eating this thing that don't process, it don't break down? Yeah, it was back to, it had grew a family in my cushion seats. I said, wait a minute, I only bought one burger for my son, but he said, no, sir, there's 2 burgers here. It multiplied. I stopped after that. Stopped doing it. Yep. It does not mold. It does not rot. It don't die. It multiply. Glad you didn't grieve the spirit, because that food wouldn't. It's just nasty. Yeah. Timothy said the FDA approves. They approves that food. But your lady a nice pair of shoes. Watch how you eat. You're going. David Weaver. David acting up. Why? Y'all are cutting corners on life. And the same people who won't take the vaccinations eat that food. Ooh, Victoria, don't do it. Victoria, don't do it. There's a lot of people in this room right now. About to block your comment. The FDA approves the vaccine. See what I tell you? But see what did I tell you, Victoria? You see what you did. You see what you did. I warned you. Cutting corners will bite you in the wallet every time. That's why Samuel Jackson keep asking me, what's that was brilliant, Nathan. That was brilliant. All right. So y'all cutting corners, you got to stop doing this. Now, even in y'all's marriage counseling. Right, Karen Keys. It's too late. Even in y'all's marriage counseling. You know what I'm going to say something very unpopular. Okay? You either going to like it, you're going to love it, or you're going to hate it. When I was having problems in my marriage, my wife keep going to my pastor, calling my pastor for assistance and help. When we had church, she would go up to the office and have these little private meetings with my pastor to talk about me, While we at home, she would call, and then my pastor was wise enough to let her talk to the first lady, and then the first lady would talk to her. A lot of that stuff was going on I didn't know. All right. So one day we at home in the evening and we have one of our scuffles. It wasn't, well, y'all know I don't fight, so it must have been something I didn't do. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but she didn't like it. She didn't like what I didn't do, I guess. And she called the pastor. And so she said, Bishop, he ain't talking to me. He don't do blah, blah. She said, my pastor said, put him on the phone. I said, hello, Bishop. Hello, son. How you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm fine. He said, son, y'all need to separate. I said, come again. Y'all need to separate. It's time. I can't do nothing with y'all. But the best advice I can give you, and I believe the Lord is telling me to tell you this, separate. I said, okay. I'll talk to you later. She said, okay, what did he say? What did he say? Oh, he told us we need to separate. What? No, we can't separate. Blah, blah. I said, wait a minute, baby. Wait. Was it not you who called my pastor? Yeah, but no. It's not a year, but you have been calling my pastor, talking his ears off, and then talking, and he gave the phone to the first lady. You talked her ears off. Something or not do something or say something, not say something. Maybe I don't hang up my shirt or something. You call my pastor because you trust his advice. Now his advice tonight was separate. Now you don't want to hear him. But we got to work this out. I don't know what to do. Let's separate. That's what we're going to do. And then we got to get counseling. Oh, now we need professional counseling. Okay, I'll go with you. I'll go with you to professional counseling. No problem. But if you're going to call for help, you need to listen to the person and you trust. So I'm saying this to tell y'all, sometimes a good counselor would tell you something that you think is totally against your upbringing and your religious stands and what have you. Some of y'all relationships are too dangerous for y'all to be together because God never approved, like the FDA, he never approved of y'all being together. And sometimes the best remedy, even from God himself, is separation. Even though he hates divorce. Y'all don't like this, do you? This is why he gave a writ of divorce allowance to Moses. It just was too much. It was too much. And some of y'all are in very dangerous situations where you should have never came together and you need to get your butt out of that house. Leave. And some of you either need to leave and so that you both can get separate counseling and then you can come back together after y'all been fixed. And the rest of you need to leave and never, ever return. There you go, Ron. Because of the hardness of the hearts. Never return. People would rather stay in a toxic relationship rather than be made whole. Misery loves company. Separate or somebody's going to die. I've said from day one that God blessed the act of marriage, but he does not bless all marriages. He does not. And God wants peace in your house. Even if getting peace means separation. Get out of that house. This is why when people come to me for marriage counseling, I talk them out of marriage. I tell them, you don't want to do this. But we love each other. You sure? All right. But you don't want to do this. But Brother Jones, we came to you for counseling. I'm trying to counsel you. I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to talk to you the way nobody don't talk to you. You don't want to do this. But Brother Jones. Okay. Let me ask y'all a few questions here. And then I asked them questions. Deep, hardcore questions on everything from finance to sex. Okay. One couple I says, hey, you love him, right? Yeah. Okay, what if he cheated on you? What would you do? Oh, what would I do? I said, you never thought of that, have you? Well, no, I don't even see him cheating. Yeah. We never see each other cheating before we marry each other. Well, unless he's cheating now and you think the marriage is going to change that all of a sudden. No, I'm not that crazy. Well, you crazy to think that he just won't cheat. He human. He walks around with a penis. Testosterone pumped in there with spermatozoa. He's young. He's a bull. He may see a piece of meat walking by because you might be on your menstrual cycle this week and he need to get some. Oh my God, Brother Chunk. Wait, you came to me for counseling, right? You've watched my shows, right? Yeah. Okay, so if this is too hardcore, I'm going to send you over to my brother Rodney Jones. He don't talk like this. he don't talk like this. Sounds that the person you with is toxic. Yeah, he don't talk like this. You see, I've been here before twice, and both times my pastors never asked me these questions. I had to find out while I was in a marriage, it was too late. Too late. Ask the questions. Ask him now. Are you going to cheat on me? He going to lie to you, ma'am. He getting ready to lie to you. No, I would never cheat on you. See? I said, so y'all go home, talk this over, and meet me tomorrow. They went home, talked it over, they came back. Y'all all right? Did y'all talk about the cheating part? Yeah. He vowed to me that he would never do it. No, Pastor, I'll never do it. Okay, fine. Hey, brother, what would you do if she cheated on you? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. So y'all haven't talked about that? No, I would never cheat. I said, listen, y'all go home and meet me tomorrow. Yeah, meet me tomorrow. And then we can talk about it. Oh, we can't. We're tired of coming back. But y'all came to me. All right. Hey, what about oral sex? What about it? Maybe he like it. Well, we haven't. Y'all haven't talked about oral sex? Well, no, my pastor said. Your pastor said what? My pastor. Well, what did your pastor say? Did he tell y'all that oral sex is a sin? Well, he was kind of alluding to that, you see. See what's happening here? Y'all's pastors are too much in y'all's beds. You won't allow God to be in your life, but you would prefer your pastor in your bed. No, brother. Wait, then who gave him the law and the right? And where in the scripture did he show you where oral sex with your husband is a sin? Did y'all talk it over? No. Go home and meet me tomorrow. Yeah. I try to talk them out of marriage. Y'all ain't ready for this. Because y'all getting ready to face some stuff you just never talked about. You better be ready for it. Have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F, plan G. Have all the plans all laid out. And when you can talk about all those plans, then you can think about marriage. Other than that, I will never marry you. Again, my brother number is 588-2300. Call him. I won't do it because I don't want to be partakers of y'all's foolishness. You sure is hardcore. Yeah, the Lord had one person in this territory that talks hardcore. That's me. All right. If you want to smooth sayings, call my brother Dwayne. He'll take care of the smooth part. He gonna get me for that. Oh yeah. You don't want to talk to me. Ain't no maybe. He like it to me. He like it. People need to learn to be friends first. Get to really know each other. Joan, now I know I did the Friends show, Rogers. I know I did that show. The problem with the ladies today is the aspect of not understanding what friendship is. You're not used to it. I've had this battle with so many of the ladies over and over again. They think when a man says, I want to be your friend, they think that that's all he want to be and there's nothing else involved in that. Well, it depends on the man you're talking to. But your friendship is more important than anything you got. You know why? Because even God himself called you what? Can y'all tell me? He called you what? Because you're not even married to Jesus yet. No, you ain't. We're the bride of Christ. No, we not. Not yet. We are betrothed to him. Michelle Humphrey. I didn't know you was here. There you go. He calls us friend. And Jesus says we are betrothed to each other. The marriage supper of the Lamb have not happened yet. We are just engaged, y'all. This is an engagement. And God wants to be your friend. Why? Because there is a friend that sticks what? So there are things I can only tell my friend Buddy Gill. He's my best friend. That I can't even tell my brothers. You understand? And I love my brothers. And they have friends that they can tell stuff to, but they can't tell me. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So when the man and the woman come together and y'all ain't talking about friendship, it's a problem. And I don't understand why the brothers understand that concept more than the women. I just don't get it. Why they understand that concept more. Because a good brother wants to build up. He wants to build it up. So that he can look back and see what they build together. Men are builders. Why men can't tell women they love them today as a friend. There it is. I knew I did that show. I knew I did that one. Build it up. So if you're putting the cart before the horse, you're just having sex. That's all you're doing. You're just having sex. Just having sex. You're going crazy. You're just having sex. Wild sex, wild sex, wild sex. Well, what sex does is it actually clouds her judgment on your relationship. Sex clouds her judgment. All right. He is just a bull. In many cases, sex is just sex to him. In many cases, it's just sex to him. If he's still coming around, though, and he wants to get to know you better and more like a friend, that brother is important because he's trying to build something with you. Even to the point where he'll say, I didn't come over for sex tonight. I really not. Y'all, man, what? You must have just had some sex. It must be somebody else. No. Do we always have to have sex? Why can't I just talk to you? I want to get to know you. And that's why I think one of the most brilliant scenes in Coming to America was when Prince Akeem was asking that prepared bride for him, what do you like? Whatever you like. What do you like to do? Whatever you like to do. Do you have any dreams? Do you have any? Whatever your dreams are. Bark like a dog. He's chasing. He was looking for someone that, not that he wanted to just admire her body. He just wanted somebody he could talk to. There's a lot of brothers out there. But what y'all did was you gave up your tail first. So he took it. He enjoyed it. Okay, now is there anything up here? Is there anything up here? If he can't be challenged up here, he'll keep tapping the tail. But he gone. After a while, if there's no staying power, if you don't press him, challenge him in a conversation, he gonna tap it and go. He out of there. And that's why in my book, I talk about the first book. God to say, no wonder why your show comes on late. That's why in my book, I talked about the animal kingdom, about the leopard. The leopard sees a dead carcass laying on the ground, and he goes and he sniffs it, but he ain't gonna eat it. Quran, Kia, I can't read that. He ain't gonna eat it. He sees it, but he won't eat it. Why? Because that leopard didn't kill that meat himself. Because that meat could be diseased. He didn't prepare it. And so what happens was an animal like a brother have an instinct of what's called the thrill of the chase. So if he chased it and he killed it, he gonna eat it and it's his. So that thing kills it and takes it up a tree and eat it whole. He takes it off of the meat market and eats it whole. That's in my book. Y'all don't read that part. Why? The women hate that part. If he chases that animal, he chases, and the more he's huffing and puffing, that gives him strength. Like he's finding joy in chasing it, and he takes it and kills it. But if somebody else killed it, he don't want it. He don't want it. And that's why we need to work on our relationship, so we can learn how to build as friends first. That's why many relationships are doomed. Come on, I'm trying to tell y'all. A man feels comfortable calling his friend any time of day. Hey, what you doing? And it's not a booty call. Hey, what you doing? Oh, I'm just, oh, okay. Oh, I was just thinking about you. Just want to chat, see what's going on. I ain't want nothing. Okay, cool. Bye. He done. He got his fill. And it didn't take sex. Didn't take it. Because he looks at her as someone that he could pull on intellectually. Number 2, he wants someone to nurture him and baby him and pamper him and all these things. So girl A, Bella, that's not the girl. It's not her. And Lola, almost there, but not really. Not really. This is Lola right here. Lola. No, she's not. That's not her. She's just all about sex. Bella? Yeah, she's close enough. That's the mistress. She's close. But still, no. But that Phoebe, he could talk to Phoebe all night. For days. For days. All those soul ties is a ripoff. My ex went packing. Bro. Oh my God. I'm trying to help y'all. Y'all don't want to hear me. You're right, dealer. I found that God can only fill that void. It took me a while to figure out, but I'm grateful. What deal you say? What she say? Dealer kind of smart. What she say? I got to go. It must be far up there because I must have missed it. Broken people look to sex for a good feeling. Yeah, to feel empty and void. Oh, Delia, I told y'all she was smart. I told y'all. All right. So my point here was sometimes y'all need to separate. Your pastor may not tell you that, but that might be the most healthiest thing that you have ever done is to get out of that house. I believe in reconciliation. I believe in coming together again. I believe in all of that stuff. But a lot of that stuff is temporary. Makeup sex is temporary. You're both horny. You ain't had it for a while because y'all was separated. So makeup sex is good. But that needs to come with something, though. It needs to come with something. The contriteness need to come with it. I feel comfortable talking to my male friends. They say I cannot talk to my wife like I can talk to you, not even on the Bible. Joan, most of my women friends have mostly male friends. If I polled this community right now, I can guarantee you most of the women on here have more male friends. They do. And there's a reason behind that. This show took a turn. Yeah, it took a good turn. It's a midnight turn. See, a pretty lady said, yep. I know. Jess says, absolutely. And I bet y'all know why you got more male friends. Colette says, yep. Y'all my friends. Go figure. We live and learn from our mistakes. The problem is men need to ask women how they want to be pleased, not just, ooh, D. Williams. That's part 3. Y'all, that's part 3. April says, I have only 3. Okay, Millie asked the question, what is the reason for male friends, y'all? Can y'all answer Millie, why is it that most of the women have male friends? I want to find out what y'all say, and then I'm going to tell y'all what I think. Karen Keith says, I sure do. Yep. Can y'all tell me, why do you think most of the women have male friends? And most men like me have women friends. And it got nothing to do with romance and all that stuff. Nope. Because I know how to turn them women off. When they come hitting me up and stuff like that, I know how to turn them off. I'm just that strong. Oh, you coming at me that way? Not thank you. We're turning the channel. But the rest of my female friends, that's all they are. My friends. Good friends. Because real women know that the sisterhood is broke. Lord Jesus. I have 0 female friends in real life. You ladies on here know I consider your... Come on, Reba, come on. Women are catty and hold grudge, Kia says. Kim says, simple, I avoid jealousy, catfights, and drama. Ooh, Kim. Marriage need a solid and healthy friendship. Yes. Men are not petty, envy, or jealous. See, the women are all saying the same thing. Yes. I can talk to my male friends without the catting. You see, that's the answer, Millie. And that's exactly where I was going to go. But I could not say it. The ladies had to say it. Because if I had said it, then y'all would be saying, oh, that's a man saying it. They all talk that way towards women. The women will say that they don't like drama and mess. So that's why, yep. I'm trying to tell y'all. Come on, y'all. Preach, Steph said. That's exactly it. I have female associates, but you won't catch me on the phone with them. I don't have a whole bunch of male friends because men are a little closed for my taste, and I'm too open for their taste. Michelle says too much drama and jealousy. I'm too open and transparent for their taste. So the men were like, no, don't fool with him. But in secret, they admire me and they are jealous of me. Unbiased, truthful, yes. In secret. But they won't say it openly. And especially the married ones. They won't. So when it's time to go out and do stuff and go places at my church, all the women, they be ready, but the brothers like, no, I got to go to work. No, I got to go home, feed the dog. No, I got to go take care of my wife. No, I got my daughter got a thing. No, I'm not. I think no, I'm tired. That's all the men say. But the women, they're ready. And I'm not talking about mischief. They're just ready to do exciting things. And they're easier to talk to. And they're good listeners when it comes to talking to a man. When they talk to another woman, it turns into that catty thing that y'all were saying earlier. It's amazing. If married, is it okay to keep the friends of opposite sex? If y'all got the agreement, Millie. If the both of you agree, absolutely. But y'all got to agree. Because it can turn out to be a catastrophe. But there should be boundaries there. There should be boundaries. When I was married, I didn't forbid my wife to still have her male friends, but she knew that she was married, which caused a boundary. She knew not to just hang out with her male friends because you're married. You understand? And I couldn't hang out with my female friends. I'm married. So if we did hang out, my wife went with me. Or the women friends came to the house and became friends with my wife. Do you hear me? And I became friends with her male friends. That keeps peace. What you tell a man you will never hear again, Brenda. Ooh, Brenda. You just preached the gospel right there. I got so much secrets in me from women down through the years, I could never tell. And it will go to my grave. That's why I have more women friends. I guess I grew up with boys and being the only girl I understand men. Yeah, I believe that. You should bring your wife on the show to talk. I don't have a wife, D. Williams. I know I keep saying wife, but I notice I will say ex or former. I know I don't have a wife. But I'll bring her on the show if you like me to. And they both will show up. My husband will have to hang out with his friends and vice versa when we are both present. Yep, there you go. So you got to have an agreement. All right. Now, again, y'all saying, are you still on topic? Yes, because y'all are the church. You keep thinking that the building is the church. You are the church. You are the ecclesia. And the things that I'm telling y'all right now in this subject matter will help you when you come together in koinonia, in fellowship with each other. This stuff we're talking tonight can strengthen y'all's relationships when y'all go to corporate worship. Do y'all understand? So when you hear something from the pulpit, you'll be like, whoa, that ain't what we learned in class. Nah, Pastor, nah. I don't agree with none of that. No. At this age in my life, I just tell them the truth. Yeah. I'm great. I keep Timothy Clark, you need your own show. He's hilarious. COVID brought clarity that the church is not a building. Come on, Kia. All right. Pitts went to bed, but I need to give the 8 reasons why counseling is so important. Number 1, the counselors have unbiased opinions. Make sure you get one of them. The counselors have unbiased opinions. Y'all understand that? I'm not going to read all of it, but you know what that means. Number 2, they allow you to talk without waiting for their turn. A good counselor lets you talk yourself crazy. You understand? Boundaries is key because you can't be laying in bed not speaking to your husband, but you're talking all night with your bestie friend. And ask me how I know that has happened to me. I can't get none because you talking to your best friend. Yeah, it's after midnight for some of you, so we can talk like this. But then again, no, it's 10:40, it's 11:40. It's almost midnight on the East Coast. Can you find the right person of love who is not born again in case of marriage? Can you find the right person who was not born again? No such thing. Because the scriptures, the Old Testament, and Paul picked it up. He picked up and borrowed from the Old Testament by saying, do not yoke yourself up with unbelievers. Pretty much the unequally yoked concept is the answer to your question. It's the same thing with counseling. When you're trying to get counseling for something going on in your mind, you better get you a believer who's the counselor. I suggest you do that, because if you don't get a believer who's a counselor, then he's or she is trying to fix a problem with another problem. He's an unbeliever. The majority of my military buddies are men. Wow. Yeah. My male friends have thankfully fulfilled some necessary roles in my life. Been friends, but also have been fathers. See, evangelists. Yeah. So don't do it. I would not suggest it, because some of y'all ladies are doing evangelistic dating. You're trying to save them, so you date them, fall in love with them, and then try to evangelize them and change them and save them. A lot of ladies do that, and you find yourself being pulled his way, because that evil communication corrupts what? You don't win. The likelihood of you winning is that the power of God must be in you for you to pull somebody in like that. You're going to date him because you like, a lot of ladies like stray cats. You put the milk out there, and the cat come to your door, and he drink, and he figured that's the place to get the milk, and he keep coming back for the milk, and then you start petting him. That's how y'all get y'all's men. I know for a fact. An atheist and Christians don't mix. Build-A-Bear, Captain Save-A-Hole, don't work. Misha. Yeah, come on, evangelist. Come on, evangelist. You've been preaching. Also, what should the Christian man look for in a Christian woman? Uh-oh, Joan. Free milk. My daughter met a man and he wasn't saved. I got involved along with her. Ooh, he's saved now in a youth pastor. Come on, man. Ron, you and I are twins, man. You and I are twins, because I took my daughter's boyfriend for a long walk in the park, And I promise you, I had him calling on Jesus' name. I had him calling Jesus. He was tossed between the Muslim and the thing. I said, yeah, when I get through with you, you're going to know Jesus. You're going to see Jesus face to face. We were in the park and he was tearing for the Holy Ghost. When I got through with him, he was speaking in tongues, foaming at the mouth in the park. Oh yeah, I took him for a walk. When he impregnated my daughter, I said, come here. I'm gonna walk with you. Yeah, you skinny enough for me to beat the hell out of you. I said, but I'm not gonna beat you. I'm just gonna talk to you. Yeah, I think he's an apostle right now. It just celebrated 7 years. Yes, that's good stuff. All right, let me hurry up. Number 3, they bring validity to what you are feeling. They validate it. Why? Because they got the degrees, y'all. They know what they're talking about. Number 4, it feels good to tell someone. Talk to somebody who will not judge you. Oh, yeah, BW. Oh, I threatened his life. Yeah, I threatened his life. So he gave his life to the Lord. Yeah. Hey, Pops. Yeah. That's my boy. Okay. That's number 3. 4. Here's number 5. You cannot do it all on your own. Y'all know that, right? That's why y'all need counseling, because you can't do it by yourself. Number 6. They care. They really care. A lot of these counselors really do care. I know I do. When people call me, I tell them. I spend hours with them, and I don't charge them. Because I need you to succeed. 6, they care. 7, they can give you answers. They explain what you're feeling certain ways. They can help you take the steps you need to improve yourself. They have the answers. And number 8, because who cares what anyone thinks? Number 8, who cares what anybody think? If you have people in your life that are judging you for going to counseling, cut them out of your life. You do not need them. You do not need that type of negativity and bad stigmas associated with something used to help people. Cut them off by the root. Yeah. Millie preaching. Millie. Just preaching the gospel. Yeah. Some of these pastors be trying to teach you how to help your marriage and have problems of the, Yep, I know D. Williams. That's a shame. So do you know any marriage counselors in Des Moines, Iowa? No, I do not. Not there. I passed through Iowa. I said, hi, y'all, bye. I don't know any there. But you've got to properly vet these counselors. You got to be careful with them, okay? And I did the show on counselors and I remember I was talking about how a psychiatrist said that he said that all emotions can be listed in the 3 labels of fear, anger, and sadness. Okay, I did that show and I don't remember the name of it. Thank you, Roger. You got all 8 there. Okay. And I talked about how human Jesus was. He wasn't 50% human and 50% God. He was 100% human. He was 100% God. All right. And he felt the same things that we felt, and he was tempted the same way we were tempted. He felt compassion. He felt anger. He felt grief. He felt joy. He felt love. And I believe that Jesus was also sexually tempted. We don't find it in the scriptures, but he had to have been sexually tempted, because the Bible says he was tempted on how many points, y'all? We also talked about the Old Testament guys. Remember? We talked about Jeremiah slipping in depression. Come on, Joan. He was tempted on all points. So you trust me. Some woman tempted, and maybe some man too, tempted him sexually. Job suffered from depression. Jonah slipped into depression. Remember the writers of you read the book of Psalm and you feel depressed yourself. Samson himself, he suffered with addictions. The writer of Ecclesiastes, he had cynical tunnel vision. You understand? Elijah, he sunk into fear. He sunk into depression when he ran from Jezebel. King Saul suffered from, I believe, manic depression, and I believe he was bipolar. I believe King Saul was psychotic. I believe King Nebuchadnezzar, he went mad because he too was psychotic. Okay, Nero was a psychopath. You understand? All these men and these women in the scriptures had the same problems as some of you have today. And the Holy Spirit and God had to deal with them. But I guarantee you many of them had to talk to someone in the flesh. Y'all hear me? And I also talked about what are the roles of psychotherapy, drugs and religion and things like that into mental health. And I made the bold statement by saying there is no role for secular psychotherapy. Because mental health does not exist for an unbeliever, because the unbeliever is trying to fix the unbeliever, and that means that it's the blind leading the blind. So the end result of that unbeliever who's having these mental issues is still death. You understand? So how can he be helped except the Lord come in and make a man whole? He can only exchange one problem for another. You understand? So the scriptures alluded to how can you understand a man except you understand the spirit of a man? How can you understand God except you understand God's spirit? So secular psychologists can't tap into the spirit. They don't believe in it. But it is the spirit of the man that leads a man into this place of healing and being made whole, because that is the portal that goes to God. I'm trying to teach all this here now, but you don't want to receive it. The spirit of the man is the candle of the Lord. Come on, Joan. The spirit. So if these counselors don't believe in the spirit of man, that God communicates with him, he can't help you. So you got to properly vet him, talk to him, ask him a bunch of questions. What do he believe? The large majority of mental disorders, believe it or not, could be solved with a biblical conversation or conversion and obedience. A large portion. I didn't say all of it, because still God has a choice in how he want to heal someone psychologically. But a lot of these things can be fixed if we can turn our bad exegetical teaching over to real truth of the oracles of God and help heal these people, because a lot of it is ignorance, and and what the Bible says about the people perish because of the lack of what? Those with deep psychological issues need to be placed in a more mentally protective environment. God says, I will keep you in perfect peace. Who's what? Who's what? So what you did was you got on top of these medicines and things like that because you were trying to run away from some things that you might have caused or some type of avoidance. And so you ran to these counselors and then you got hooked on these drugs. And before you know it, your mind is messed up, and your mind leads you into all kind of things in your body. And then your soul is jacked up. So a lot of times you're denying the responsibility by running to medicines and running to counselors and what ungodly counselors. All right. And you're going to keep going back. But every time Jesus healed someone, he made them whole. Stop denying God's healing. Stop denying his healing. Forgiveness, in many cases, is the greatest medicine there is, because you need that will give you some type of closure. Even if someone molested you, they raped you, or they killed your child, or they did something like that, and y'all will say, well, that is the most egregious thing the person could do to me, so I can't. Okay, you don't want to, or it is very difficult for you to. So I can't really judge a person how hard it is and the struggle it is for them to forgive. Some of you, it may take a little while. I can't just tell a person, you can stop smoking, you can stop drinking, yet I never smoked, yet I've never been hooked on alcohol. It's easy to say that. So you need to find a way to counsel them with compassion. That's why he says those who have been caught in a fault, restore such a one in meekness with the Spirit of God, and be careful lest you be tempted as well. There's a way to help people come out of this walk of unforgiveness, because even the secular world has discovered that unforgiveness is deadly, and it causes problems within the body. Psychosomatic stuff happens when people are angry. They get so angry that their bodies start hurting. They start having migraines. Their back start hurting. They walk in front of it. They begin to vomit and all this stuff because they are angry, and they've never dealt with this thing that somebody hurt them in life, and forever. It seems like somebody's always hurting them. They've been abandoned for so many years, and I've met so many of those, both men and women. And all they need is somebody to sit down and talk to them like a father. This is why the Apostle Paul says, although we have many instructors, we don't have many fathers. So he said, Timothy, I'll father you. Titus, I'll father you. Apollos, I'll father you. You understand? You get you a good mentor, someone that you can talk to, and they can help you. And the Spirit of God will speak through these counselors so that they can put you back on the right track. You understand? So you got to find out what's going on with this person. You got to understand, you got to ask the question, is this mental illness, or is this a spiritual, or is this a biochemical imbalance? There's ways to find out by you talking to people and praying to God, and the Spirit will give you knowledge and wisdom on that's a demon, or no, that's a chemical imbalance. You understand? They had issues back in the Old Testament with this chameleon. That chameleon is a thing that it like some of these octopuses and octopi, whatever you want to call them. All right, and they have a way of changing their spots. They literally change their form. They can look like a blowfish and all kind of things. That chameleon spirit. That spirit of Dagon and Baal and Ashtaroth and Beelzebub and all these Old Testament demons that men created or what have you. Beelzebub was not something that man created, but these other ones, okay? That's that adulterated, that idol worshiping thing that was going on in the Old Testament. A lot of that is happening even today in y'all's churches because y'all have made your pastors an idol. Y'all understand? Whew. I know it took me a while to get here, but I had to get here because it's time for y'all to go to bed. Some of y'all are too spiritual. You're too spiritual, and you're overly spiritual. You overly romanticize your spiritual walk because your understanding is clouded. So you have a zeal, but it is not according to knowledge. This is why word of knowledge, the gift, the word of knowledge and the word of wisdom is very important in this walk. Also, if those some of you in your churches who have the gift of discerning of spirits, that is so vital within that list of gift of spirits, the gift of the Holy Spirit, that is, okay? That discerning of spirits, a person can walk up to me and I can see that something's going on with this person before they open their mouth. You got a deacon at the church or a mother or usher, always angry, always going off, always falling out. The music play, they fall out. They're the loudest ones. They're the most honorary, all kinds of stuff. First lady want to have her hand in every department of the church. A lot of that has to do with mental illness. Some of it are character flaws, I will agree. But some of that is mental illness. And because the church uses this as taboo, we can't talk about it. And you take some blessed oil and pour it on them and then you're done. All you're getting is somebody's suit that needs to go in the cleaners or go in the garbage. But some of these people need to be talked to, counseled to, with somebody who can look at them and say, you got a demon. We need to cast this out of you. Others of you, you need to go to somebody downtown and sit on the couch or lay on the couch and talk about something that happened to you at the age of 15 that you didn't deal with. And so your churches need to send some of these members to school. Send them to school. Because you're trying to throw out the real world situation. And that's why it's such a problem with COVID-19 is because y'all don't like science. It makes no sense that you white evangelicals have literally thrown out science because there was something happened that you didn't like, and you looked at it as you started soaking up all this conspiracy theories because you don't want to take something, and so what you did was you attacked science. That was your excuse. You attacked the whole science, and y'all were so bipolar. You accepted that the thing is here, but then you heard somebody else talk about it. Well, it's here. First, you denied it. It ain't here. It's a hoax. It's a Democratic hoax. It ain't here. And then it started killing folks close to you. And you're like, wait a minute. Okay, maybe that thing is real, but it's just a common cold. Okay. Again, then it killed a relative of yours. Okay. But yet you still threw science out the door when God is omniscience. He created it all. So don't tell me, oh, I'm praying for you. No, don't pray for me. Don't pray for me. Your prayers is weak. You don't mean none of it. You tossed out what God has given us. And when you go to your doctor for a cough, or if you broke your arm, if you got a headache, if cancer is forming, if you got gout, if you got all kinds of stuff in your body, you go to the doctor and the doctor says this is what you have, you will believe him. Number 2, he'll write you up a prescription. All right. And then he'll say, take this down to Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, and you'll take it down there. Never once ask a question. No, you won't. You won't even go to your computer or your phone and Google it. What it does? What's the side effect? Blah, blah, blah. No, you won't. You'll take it down and say, give me this. My doctor say, take this 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a day, and you'll take it faithfully. And if he tell you can't go out of town, you won't go out of town. What is that? That's science. You're bipolar. You like what you like. You don't like what you like, even though it's the same animal. Science. Because you're in with the in crowd. And death is all around you. And your faith is killing me. Your faith is killing me. You're powerless because you're ignorant. It's killing me. So this book right here is a great book on counseling. All right. Where's my, I can't even see. All right. This book right here is like the poster child of y'all seen this book on Amazon. All right. It's a great book by Gary R. Collins. All right. It poses some very important questions. Okay. The table of contents talks about, it gives you part 1, part 2, part 3. And I like this because, let me remove this introductory. It talks about the prominent issues in your churches: depression, anxiety, anger, guilt, and forgiveness. All this, I think that's kind of important to talk about. But y'all don't want to talk about this stuff. You just want to lay hands on somebody. You got this book, Ron Pringle. It's a great book. I refer to it quite often. Developmental issues y'all have, childhood, adolescence. This is where many of the problems stem from. Your childhood, your adolescent, and all this young stuff that happened to you, an abandoned father, overly bearing father, or overly nurturing mother, and you were a latchkey kid and all this stuff. Now you in your 50s and you acting a fool because of what happened in your adolescent years. Your church ain't dealing with this. They're not conditioned. They're not trained to deal with this. Interpersonal issues, conflict relationships, sex apart from marriage, sex within marriage, homosexuality. All y'all do talk about homosexuality, why it's a sin, and you sending all those people to hell. But y'all having conflicts with all this other stuff: abuse, neglect, sowing discord among the brethren. All this is with you, but you keep picking on the homosexual. Why are you sitting here and dying? All right. identity issues, grief, singleness. Some of the ladies that y'all bleed on Facebook because of your single. I can't wait to find my Boaz, my man, or my I can't wait for my y'all telling us all your business what you're gonna do with your man. That's a struggle, y'all. That's a struggle. That's a problem when y'all are bleeding on social media. And I've learned to start deleting y'all because y'all are pathetic. You're grieving on social media. Family issues, premarital counseling, marriage issues, pregnancy issues, all this stuff is going on in the church, but y'all don't want to talk about it? Control issues. Oh, man, we got all kind of addictions. Y'all need financial counseling. You know, we talked about that yesterday. All right? It goes on. And then this chapter here was talking about the legal, ethical, and moral issues in Christian counseling. Man, y'all need to get this book because it talks. This opening statement right here was enough for me. But the show is really late, and I should have stopped a long time ago. I should have stopped a long time ago. It's crazy, y'all. Boaz, my I can't bleed all over social media. If I hear another dear future husband, I think I'm going to puke. I got tired of these dear future husband posts. Man, you look desperate. And y'all in these relationships. I don't know how I get in these Facebook groups or these singles groups, and it's just y'all just bleeding all over the place. You like the woman with the issue of blood, dear future husband. And these men are looking at y'all and they are laughing, and then they're in your inbox, and before you know it, they done dripped all over you, and then they gone to the next victim. Why? Because you on social media bleeding, and these men just like a bus station. They just stop by, get something and go. Next, stop by, get some going. Why? Because she's bleeding all on social media. All the brothers know that's the place to stop by. Dear future husband. Am I upsetting you, ladies? Is this too much? This too much? Because you can't share this show. You can't share this show. This is too much. Your church need counseling. The whole church need counseling. I know. All right. It's too many. It's too many. I've seen too much. Pastors are dying, and y'all know what to do. Founding pastors have died, and the church split because they don't know what to do. That says something. You were leaning on that one man. You know what to do. I've seen pastors die, and the church was going down to the graveyard thinking that the man gonna rise from the grave. That's how much stock they put into the man. And the church never went and got counseling. When something happens to a corporation, a company, or if a school, something happens. It doesn't always have to be a shooting, but something tragic could happen in the school, and the government got more sense to bring in counselors to that school, to that territory, to that area. They bring in counselors to talk to the neighborhood, talk to the school, talk to the parents, talk to the staff. All right, and they offer them free counseling. Your churches, when you lose a leader or something like that, your organization or your church, somehow you need to come together and get somebody to talk to the whole church and counsel them, because that is a detriment. That is a mental thing, especially if that founding father was the only the founding father of the church was the only leader that they had. He was the only one that they know. Now he's gone, and then these people start going crazy. Y'all better get somebody in there. I'm trying to tell you. You better get somebody on it. When your pastor dies. Yeah, go to that show. I know I'm sending y'all to a lot of shows, but you might want to go to that one. When your pastor dies. It's in a Nigerian couple days ago. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay, he gave you the title of the book. Yeah, rewind this and you can see the picture. It's a thick book now. It's not something you read in a week and then you're done and go to another book. No, it's a Bible, pretty much. It's the Bible of Christian counseling. Now, don't read the book and then get it all up here. Then now you can go around counseling everybody. Now, you be careful how y'all counsel, all right? That minister called Shattered Paradise preaches against the COVID. Yeah. I believe mental illness struck one of the greatest female bishops. Yeah. All right. Let me stop because usually at the end of the show is when I get the most fire in me, and I better stop. I better go up here and drink some water and cool myself down because I've seen this all my life. It's a destructive act. It's a destructive way of acting in our churches, and we don't even know we're self-destructing. We are imploding like the United States. They ain't coming over here to bomb us and destroy us. No, we are imploding. We are weakening ourselves inside, and we will implode. Afghanistan didn't happen overnight. We caused Afghanistan. We went over there and stirred up some problems, but it didn't start 20 years ago. Afghanistan started in the 80s when the Soviet Union was over there with Gorbachev. And the United States wanted them out of there. So what did the United States do? We went over to Pakistan and started to train up some fighters. And we wanted the Muslims to be the way we are fearful of them now because we see that they're radical. But we radicalized the Muslims in Pakistan so that they can come over into Afghanistan and remove the Soviet Union. We did that. We supplied the weaponry. And we were the ones who trained those guerrilla warfare men over there. And then when they ran them out of Afghanistan in 1994, those same men that we trained became the Taliban. And what did they do? They stripped the women of their power and their freedom. You have to put on the burqa or whatever you call that thing, all right? And they stripped this, they stripped that. And all through the 90s, we did that. And if we wanted an excuse to go back in there and we got bombed, we said, we're going over to Iraq. No, let's go to Afghanistan. Let's go there as we over here at Iraq. And let's set up a new thing, that it was a cash cow. We did that. We trained the ones who came over here and tore down the Twin Towers in New York. We were the ones who trained the men who ran those airplanes into the Pentagon. We did that. We did it. So now we upset because look at Ronald Reagan and selling the weapons to Iran, the Iranian thing with Oliver North. We did that. We raised up our own enemy to attack us. There are free radicals that enter into they disguise themselves as certain eggs and other animals. They disguise themselves and look like it, and the mother will bring them into the nest, and they begin to eat into the nest and eat into the eggs and and they start killing everybody. Free radicals. That's what we do when we eat certain things and it goes into our bodies, and we are destroying our own self. We are walking Trojan horses, and the United States is a walking or a living entity of a Trojan horse. That's why you don't see us in the end time in Scripture. Why? Poof! It's catching up to us. And this empire cannot survive. Rome did the same thing. No empire survived this long by fiat and stretching their armies thin. No empire has ever survived. We're next. And just like they don't want the history of slavery and Jim Crow being told our history books will wax cold in revealing the atrocities of America. Yeah. There you go. So now you know the history of Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran and Pakistan. The history is the history. We went meddling into somebody else's business. because we wanted to break up the fight. And too many men went in between two people who were fighting, and it was the man in the middle got stabbed or got shot in the head because he tried to break up a fight. That's the United States. They gonna shoot us in the head trying to break up a fight. So I suggest y'all get to know the Lord tonight. Get to know him tonight if you don't. Because you're living in a world, in a country that's a bipolar entity. And there are free radicals that are living right next door. And they're getting ready to eat you alive if your eyes are not open. I'm not talking about this woke generation. Y'all need to go to sleep. But I mean you who are believers. All right? I try to eat right, exercise. I try to maintain my mental stability because there are spiritual warfare. Come on, D. Williams. Yeah. All right, y'all. Clock keeper. My bad. I stole that time. I am a thief. Y'all take care of yourselves, all right? And be well and all that good stuff. Spread love. Bop, bop, up. And hit the share button. Subscribe to the channel if you like. And we gonna go on as we always do. See y'all tomorrow around 3 o'clock. Yeah, let's talk about something else. Y'all know I go live every day. So if I can't go at 3, I go at 9. Today, I didn't go at 3. Right? I didn't, did I? I don't think so. I went at 9. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go at 3 because I can't go tomorrow night because Toneel Jackson's annual gala is happening tomorrow night. So I'll see y'all back on at 3 o'clock to really upset you some more. Can I? Can I please, mama? Can I? Thank you. I will. All right. I love y'all. Let's see what my grandson is doing. Where he at? Has he done anything crazy lately? Try to see if my grandson done anything crazy that I can show y'all. I guess I got to update this thing because I don't know. I don't know. We'll see you. Take care.
Hey, really? No. This is Papa's plate. No. No, this is my plate. Yep. It's time for you to eat real food. Your mama neglecting you here. Here, put this in your mouth. Don't tell her I did this. Put this in your mouth.
So, Watcher Jones. Excuse me. Show.
Goodbye. 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 Enjoy yourself. Goodbye. 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 Bye. Well, goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Fellas, does it seem like you can't get a good woman? Ladies, wonder why you can't keep a man? Then read The 4 Women That Men Desire, Volume 1, by Sirwalterj to figure out how to break the cycle. Go to Amazon.com to get your copy today.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?